Good day, students! Welcome to our English class. Today, we're going to learn something very exciting: action words or verbs and the tenses of verbs. After going through this lesson, you are expected to identify action words or verbs in a sentence, understand and use the simple present, simple past, and simple future tenses of verbs correctly. Before we dive into our new lesson, let's quickly review what we have learned last time. Subject-verb agreement. Remember, the basic rule states that a singular subject takes a singular verb while a plural subject takes a plural verb. I'm going to show you some sentences. If the subject and verb agree, shout out agree. If not, shout out disagree. Let's go! The dogs barks loudly. Is it agree or disagree? The answer is disagree. It should be the dogs bark loudly. Awesome job! You got it! Next, he walks to school every day. It's agree. Great! Let's keep going. The boy eats a sandwich. It's disagree. It should be the boy eats a sandwich. You did an amazing job. Let's read a short story and answer some questions about it. Anna wakes up early every morning. She brushes her teeth and eats breakfast with her family. After breakfast, she walks to school with her friend Ben. At school, Anna studies hard and listens to her teacher. After school, she returns home and plays with her little brother. What does Anna do every morning? Right, Anna wakes up early every morning. Who eats breakfast with Anna? Good job! Her family eats breakfast with her. How does Anna go to school? You are right. Anna walks to school. What does Anna do at school? Yes, Anna studies hard and listens to her teacher. And what does Anna do after she returns? Great! Anna plays with her little brother. Wakes up, eats, walks, studies, listens, and plays are action words. What are action words? Action words are words that are also known as verbs. These are words that express actions, and they have tenses. Tenses of the verbs tell when an action is done. Let us find out what are the different tenses of verbs. Let us read the short story and answer questions about it. Anton prepares for school every morning. He eats his breakfast and then walks to school. Yesterday, he helped his friend with homework after school. Tomorrow, he will join the school's art club. Let us answer the questions. What does Anton do every morning? Yes, Anton prepares for school every morning. What did Anton do yesterday? Great! Anton helped his friend with homework. And what will Anton do tomorrow? Yes, Anton will join the school's art club. Great job! Did you notice the words prepares, help, and will join? These are all verbs or action words, and they tell us what Anton is doing. But look closely. Each one tells us something different about when the action happens. That's where tenses come in. Let us start with a simple present tense by reading these sentences. The cat jumps on the table. She reads a book every night. The sun shines brightly. The children play soccer after school. Birds sing in the morning. What are the action words in these sentences? Right, the action words are jumps, reads, shines, play, and sing. These actions take place in the present time. Thus, they are verbs in the present tense. The simple present tense is used for actions that happen regularly or are generally true. Time expressions like every day, daily, once a week, every month, and regularly are used to show habitual actions. Examples: she eats breakfast every day. They ride their bike to school. Remember, the simple present tense is your go-to tense when you want to talk about things you do regularly or facts that are always true. Also, make sure that the subject agrees with the verb. Let's now move on to the next tense of the verb, the simple past tense. Let us read these sentences. She watched a movie last night. I visited my grandmother yesterday. We baked cookies together last Saturday. He wrote a letter to his friend last summer. I saw a rainbow after the rain. What are the action words in the sentences? Yes, you are right. The action words are watched, visited, baked, wrote, and saw. These actions took place in the past. Thus, they are verbs in the past tense. The past tense tells us about something that has already happened. It's like a story that has already been written. Time expressions such as a while ago, last night, this morning, a week ago, yesterday are used to indicate past action. Examples: she ate her breakfast a while ago. We watched a movie yesterday. Now, study the table. The verbs in the second column are in the past tense. Watched, visited, and baked are called regular verbs. Regular verbs are action words that follow simple rules when we change them into the past tense. These are the verbs that you can change from present to past just by adding ed to the end of the word. Examples: clean to cleaned, present to presented, finished to finished. How do we form the past tense of regular verbs? To change a regular verb to the past tense, all we need to do is add ed at the end of the word. Examples: climb to climbed, wash to washed, touch to touched. Another rule is, if a verb ends in e, you just add a d instead of ed. Examples: love to loved, vote to voted, dance to danced. Last rule: if a verb ends with a consonant and y, you change the y to I and add ed. Examples: carry to carried, supply to supplied, notify to notified. Let's go back to our table and look at verbs in numbers 4 and 5. Wrote and saw are irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are a special group of verbs that don't follow the regular rules when we change them to the past tense. Irregular verbs do not follow the usual rules of grammar. Their past tense is not formed by adding the usual ed ending. They change in different ways, and sometimes they don't change much at all. Let's look at some examples. From go to went, eat to ate, take to took, ride to rode, and fly to flew. Here is a learning tip. Because irregular verbs don't follow regular rules, the best way to learn them is by practicing and remembering how each one changes. Reading stories, playing games, and writing sentences can help you get used to them. Finally, let's talk about the simple future tense. Let's read the sentences. She will watch a movie before bedtime. I shall help you with your project tomorrow. We shall go to the movies tonight. He will write a letter to his friend later. The learners will present their project on Tuesday. What are the action words in the sentences? Right, the verbs are will watch, shall help, shall go, will write, and will present. These actions will take place in the future. Thus, they are verbs in the future tense. The future tense of verbs tells us about something that will happen later, not right now or in the past. It's used when we want to talk about actions or events that are going to happen after the present time. Expressions that indicate future actions are afterwards, the next day, next year, tonight, on Friday, among others. Examples: I will sleep early tonight. We shall submit our output on Friday. To form the future tense, we usually use the words will or shall, followed by the base form of the verb. Will is the most common word we use to talk about the future. Shall is mostly used with I and we when we want to suggest something or ask for advice, especially in a more formal situation. Here are some examples. They will visit their grandparents next week. We shall attend the orientation on Friday. Let's recap what we've learned today. Verbs are action words that tell us what someone is doing. The tense of the verb tells us when the action happens. The three simple tenses are simple present tense, simple past tense, and simple future tense. Present tense. The simple present tense of the verb is used to express an action that occurs in the present, a habitual action, or a general truth or fact. It is formed by adding s or es. When a singular verb ends in y preceded by a consonant, change y to I, then add es. It is also formed by retaining its original form or its base form. Past tense. The simple past tense of a verb is used to describe an action that happened in the past or before the present time. Regular verbs form their past tense by adding d or ed to their base form. Irregular verbs form their past tense by retaining their base form or changing their spelling. Future tense. The simple future tense of a verb expresses an action that will take place in the future. It is formed by using will or shall and the base form of the verb. Great! Now, let's do some activities about the lesson. What is the action verb shown in the picture? Great job! It's play. Next. What's the answer? Yeah, it's drink. Let's move on. How about this one? Nice, it's dance. Let's move on to the next one. It's brush. Good job. And the last one? Yeah, it's pray. You did an amazing job. For the next activity, identify the action verb in each sentence and write it on your paper. Number 1, the children play in the park every afternoon. Number 2, John rides his bike to school. Number 3, the baby cries when she's hungry. 4, the teacher explains the lesson clearly. And 5, they build a sandcastle at the beach. What is the action word on the first sentence? Very good, it's play. How about on the second? Right. On the third? Right, good job. How about on the fourth sentence? It explains. And on the fifth? Great, it build. Nice. Let's move on to the next activity. Identify whether the verb is in the simple present, simple past, or simple future tense. Write your answers on your paper. Number 1, they will travel to the beach next summer. Number 2, he writes in his journal every night. 3, I completed my homework yesterday. 4, you will meet your new classmates tomorrow. 5th, she bakes delicious cookies every Sunday. So what is the tense of the verb on the first sentence? Great! It's future or simple future tense. How about on the second? Right, it's simple present tense. And on the third sentence? Yes, simple past tense. On the fourth? Good job, it's simple future. How about the last one? Bakes is in the simple present tense. Amazing! Now, for the last activity, choose the correct verb for each sentence. Write your answer on a paper. Number 1, tomorrow he will play soccer with his friends. Number 2, last week we will go to the amusement park. 3, she will paint a beautiful picture last weekend. 4, the teacher will give us homework every day. 5th, next year my family will travel to Japan. So what is the correct answer for number 1? Yes, the answer is will play. Good job. How about on the second? It's when, since it happened last week. And on the third? Painted. Good job. On the fourth? It's gives. And on the last one? Yeah, it's will travel. You know now how to use the different tenses of verbs. Congratulations! Keep practicing and soon you'll be a master of telling when actions happen. Thank you for joining me today. See you in our next lesson.